Universitas PGRI Semarang. Welcome to Semarang, although in virtual. First of all, let me extend our deepest thanks and gratitude to all who have been involved within this symposium, especially the holder or the host of this symposium, that is the master program of English Education postgraduate program of Universitas PGRI Semarang. Thank you, Bu Nunung, thank you, Pak Dias, and all the teams working hard for preparation of this particular symposium. And our greatest gratitude also goes to all participants and guests. Thank you very much for joining this symposium. It is, of course, a great honor for us to hold this symposium. We do hope that this symposium will give us a lot of benefits in terms of the theme discussed within this symposium. This International Symposium on Corpus Linguistics in Education aims to bring together academic scientists, like Dr. Lin, Dr. Dinu, researchers, lecturers, and research scholars to exchange and share their experiences.
Mengikuti atau dapat apa?
And even all students, on some aspect to discuss on some aspects of corpus linguistics in education. It is also hoped that this symposium will provide a premier interdisciplinary platform for researchers, practitioners, and educators to present and discuss the most recent innovations, trends, and concerns, as well as practical challenges encountered and solutions adopted in the field of corpus linguistics and education. We do hope that this could be achieved from this particular international symposium. The second, we would like also to express our deepest thanks and gratitude to our special speakers, special guests. Firstly, Ms. Lin Lee, PhD from Massey University, New Zealand, who is going to discuss spoken corpora and language education. Thank you very much, Ms. Lin Lee, and welcome to Universitas PGRI Semarang. Welcome to Indonesia virtually. And of course, secondly, to Ibu Dr. Dinu Puspita Kirana, MPD, from EIN Ponorogo, Indonesia. She is going to present language education. Thank you, Bu Dinu, and welcome to UGRIS. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me give a little bit insight about this theme. Only very little bit. Corpus linguistics is a branch of linguistics which to many of us is relatively new and is associated with technology. There are several areas possibly elaborated in this branch of linguistics, such as important parts of the corpus, the information generated in the corpus, the main characteristics of the corpus, types of corpora, corpora in language teaching, several types that could be related to corpus research, applications of corpus linguistics to language teaching, and the like. In short, this particular field of applied linguistics analyzes large collections of written and spoken texts, which have been carefully designed to represent specific domains of language use, such as informal speech or academic writing, for example. Of course, Miss Lin and also Miss Dino, yeah, would like to elaborate this, yeah, in deeper and wider perspective, yeah, later. Corpora and language teaching, yeah, may cover several things, yeah, like, for example, at least, yeah, 3 things are covered, yeah, in the corpora and language teaching. Number 1 would be corpus linguistics and language teaching. Yeah, in language teaching, benefits in which, yeah, language teaching benefits from the resources, yeah, methods and insights provided by corpus linguistics. It also provides an important impetus, yeah, taken in corpus linguistic research. The second, yeah, types of pedagogical corpus application, which may include the use of corpus tools, yeah, like what they said by Miss Lin, yeah, just now. Yeah. For example, actual text collections or software package for corpus access and corpus methods. For example, the analytical techniques used when we work with corpus data.
Okay. When your voice is muted.
Yeah. Okay.
Santai, Kak.
Okay. Types of pedagogical corpus application, yeah, which may include the use of corpus tools, yeah. Ms. Lin, yeah, especially would, of course, would go further, yeah, on this, would elaborate this, yeah, deeper and broader, and I think we can follow, yeah, her instruction later. For example, actual text collections and software package, yes, software packages for corpus access and corpus methods. Yeah, for example, the analytical techniques used when we work with corpus data. And the last, yeah, corpus linguistics application for language teaching, in which that application of corpus linguistics of to language teaching, yeah, may be direct or indirect. Yeah, this is especially very interesting for those, yeah, besides researching, yeah, is also teaching. Yeah, direct application is a user at an advanced level of English at an academic level who is a special language corpus to assist them in writing academic papers, yeah, especially. While indirect applications are the application of corpus findings for the creation or improvement of, yeah, for example, dictionaries, yeah, reference grammar, yeah, like pedagogical materials, yeah, pedagogic materials, and so on and so on. So that's some of the many things, yeah, we can elaborate further in the field of corpus linguistics, especially in education. Well, let's wait. Yeah, we are waiting for Miss Lin and also Miss Dino. Yeah, who are going to what is it? Describe it, explain it, yeah, in much details. Yeah, in order that we would have a deeper and broader understanding, yeah, on this new, yeah, relatively new concepts here for us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, finally, yeah, with the hope of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala's guidance, let us officially open this symposium by reciting Basmalah together. Yeah, let's say it together. Thank you very much. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Mr. Director, Dr. Nasbun Ekar, MPD, Director of Postgraduate Universitas PGRI Semarang, for your welcoming and opening officially in this international symposiums. Ladies and gentlemen, all participants, it will be continued by the session 1.
Sorry, but yes, you are muted. But yes, you are muted, sorry.
All right. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, all participants, now on, we are going to enter the first session. This session will be conducted by Dr. Lilin from Masay University, with the very interesting and exciting topic, spoken corpora and language education. Dr. Lin. Hello, Dr. Lin.
Yeah.
All right. So before starting, I would like to inform you something, that the participants of the international symposium, they are from students of postgraduate, students of doctoral degree, and as well as there are some English teachers. All right. So based on this Zoom, there are 134 participants. It means that it is, so many teachers, they are interested in having this kind of seminar. And in this conference or in this seminar also, we are cooperating with IVs, Internationals, KKU, Konkain University, Masay University, IAIN Ponorogo, Universitas Semarang, Indonesia, and Sarjana University, Pakistan. So Dr. Lin, I think there will be very great opportunity for us as teachers, that we are going to know what is actually corpus and what is actually corpora. And then as teachers, we can get that corpus is one of the methodology in language research, right? So later on, we are going to know how to do with this, and then what is the benefits of using corpus for English teachers especially. Dr. Lin, you ready?
Yes.
Your time is 45 minutes to present the topics, and after that it will be continued by the second session. Dr. Lin, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Diaz. I think 45 minutes maybe is too long for me, but I will try my best to okay. Thank you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just 1 minute.
Not yet.
Bentar, sabar, Dik.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry for the website. Yeah, but okay. Cool. Sorry, just to work. Okay. Thank you. I want to thank the organizers of the Linguistics and Education Symposium, especially Dr. Nuani, for inviting me to participate in this conference. It's my honor to be here to share my knowledge of corpus linguistics with you. Today, my talk is on spoken corpora and language education. The use of corpora in language education is a growing topic in the field of corpus linguistics. A large number of studies have focused on the integration of corpora into language teaching and learning. Corpus linguists tend to think that corpora can greatly benefit language teachers and students. However, there are some difficulties actually. For example, maybe language teachers and the students do not know where to find some suitable corpora, and they don't know how to use some corpus analysis tools. Today in my presentation, I don't know if it doesn't work. The internet is quite slow. Okay, can I just stop sharing and do this again? I'm sorry for this. Okay. Cindy, can you see my screen because it does work?
Yeah, I can see your screen, Lynn. It's okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
actually it does work. I can't move into the next slide.
Okay. Maybe you want to share it with me and I can share it for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you can't move it.
So I can send my slides to you.
Okay.
Just 1 minute. Oh, so it works now.
Okay.
Yeah, can you see this?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, good.
So you
Yeah,
can
we
see
can
the
see. Yeah, I can
six,
see.
okay, titles. Okay. Today in my presentation, I will introduce some basics of the corpus linguistics, and I will show you some existing English corpora and tell you how to use some corpus techniques and some corpus analysis tools. At the end of my presentation, I will show you some steps to build your own spoken corpus. Okay, let's start with a definition. So what is a corpus? The term corpus is simply the Latin for body. So in this sense, a corpus can be defined as any body of texts. However, in the context of modern linguistics, the term corpus has more specific features. It is a growing consensus that a corpus is a collection of machine-readable authentic texts, which is sampled to be representative of a language or language variety for linguistic research. So how to understand this definition? First of all, linguists are interested in a whole variety of language. However, for any living languages such as English and Chinese or French, the number of utterances of these languages is constantly growing and theoretically infinite. So if we want to study these languages, it is theoretically possible that we can gather every single utterance to investigate language use. However, it is possible. So in order to study some language use, we can sample. So we can gather a smaller sample of the target language. For example, English, we can gather a small sample of English to study some language patterns or words. This small sample of language has finite size. It maybe consists of like 1,100 million words or 1 million words. But we hope that this smaller sample of language can be maximally representative of the entire language. And that is, we hope the collection, the data that we gathered can provide an accurate picture of the entire language population. So when we use this sample of language to carry out our study, we have the ability to generalize the findings on the sample to some large population. Compared to the institutionalist approach, the corpus-based approach can provide us more empirical examples because these examples are produced by real people. Because even though this corpus corpora are small compared to the entire language, actually they are huge. For example, you will see in the following slides, some corpora have over 4 billion words. So we have to store them into on the computers, to use computers to process this data quickly and to manipulate, to analyze this data accurately without human bias. So this is the 4 important features of a corpus. Nowadays, there are many available English corpora. So I'm going to introduce 4 relatively new English corpora. All of these corpora will be are released in after the year of 2015. So let's have a look at the first one, the written component of the British National Corpus 2014. Some of you may have already know the British National Corpus. The British National Corpus was released was completed in 1944. So this British National Corpus 2014 is a new corpus. This corpus is collected by Lancaster University. It is a collection of 100 million words of present-day British English. It has 6 genres, including academic prose, fiction, newspapers, magazines, e-language, and others. The genre of e-language include tweets, Facebook posts, and emails, and so on. And the genre of other includes something like script TV shows. So if you are interested in this corpus, you can read this article. It can be downloaded from the website. Also, there is a free online symposium will take place on the 19th of November, 2 weeks later. So if you want to know more about this linguistics, you can register this free symposium. I think this corpus will be released 2 weeks later. So if you are interested, just click the link to register this symposium. Okay. The second written corpus is the International Learner Corpus of English. It is a learner corpus, which means it consists of data produced by learners of English rather than native speakers of English. This actually the first version of this corpus has been released in 2007, maybe. Yeah. So this year they released the 3rd version of this corpus. It is a corpus of essay writing by upper intermediate to advanced learners of English from about 25 countries. It has over 5 million words. I think this corpus may be not freely available, but it has a trial version. So if you want to have a look at this corpus, just click the link. You may find more information about this corpus. The 3rd English corpus is the spoken component of the British National Corpus 2014. So it is a spoken corpus. It contains spontaneous conversations of present-day British English, featuring 668 native speakers of British English. This corpus has been released in 2017. So it is freely available. It contains over 11 million words. So in the following slides, I will show you how to use this spoken corpus by using some tools. So the next one is the Trinity Lancaster corpus. This corpus is also built by Lancaster University and the Trinity College London. It is also a learner corpus. It is a collection of oral exams between examiners and examinees. The learners of English come from many different linguistic backgrounds. This corpus actually is large. It consists of 4 million words. For spoken corpora, actually 1 million words would be very large because it's very hard to gather spoken data because we need time to transcribe all the recordings. So this Trinity Lancaster corpus and the spoken covenant of the British National Corpus 2014 are quite large in this sense. This corpus is also available. The next one is the voice corpus. This corpus is a collection of non-scripted face-to-face interactions in English as a lingua franca. Actually, it also like the corpus, or maybe we can call it it is a non-native speaker corpus. The difference between this corpus and the Trinity Lancaster corpus is that the Trinity Lancaster corpus contains oral tests between examiners and examinees, but this voice corpus includes informal speech between non-native speakers of English. And if on the website you can find some available audio recordings. For the majority of spoken corpora, corpus compilers typically do not share their audio recordings. But this corpus, you can find some audio recordings on their website. This corpus is 1 billion words, which is quite large as well. And the last one is the Louvain International Database of English Interlanguage. I think maybe some of you maybe know that may know this corpus. This corpus is widely used in learner corpus research. And this corpus has many, I think maybe over 20 subcorpora. So each subcorpus includes 50 interviews between native speakers and non-native speakers. So these non-native speakers are at higher, intermediate to advanced proficiency levels. So in each corpus, it includes a warming up activity, a free informal discussion, and for picture description. So it is a collection of relatively controlled learner speech. And this corpus, I think is over, each subcorpus includes 100,000 words. And I think the first version of this corpus was released in the year of 2010. So this year, I think they are still building they are still adding more subcorpora into this Linderson corpus. So if you are interested in this corpus, you can click this link to find more information. But this corpus is not publicly available. If you want to use their data, you need to buy the whole CD, which is very expensive. Okay, so now we know some existing corpora. So what can corpora tell us about language? First of all, corpora are a rich source of frequency evidence for linguistic phenomena. So corpora can tell us frequency of occurrence of single words and the frequency of co-occurrence of two or more words or patterns. For example, there is a frequent word list I created by using a tool. So as we can see from this list, the word that is the most frequent word. So a corpus, by using some corpus analysis tools, computer can produce the frequency list automatically, which will be very helpful for writers of dictionaries and grammar books, because and this frequency list can tell us which word is used more frequently, more often than other words. So the second, but sometimes we can't. Corpus can also provide us some information about the dispersion of a word. For example, the word HIV, lively, and keep are about equally frequent in the British National Corpus. So we can know that. So there, this means that there can be interpreted as an indication of their overall similar importance. However, a lively and keeper both occur in 97 of 10 equally sized corpus part, while HIV occurs only 62, which indicates that HIV is much more specialized. This example means even though these three words are equally frequent in a corpus, but actually maybe HIV is used by a smaller number of people, or it occurs in a smaller number of texts. So, these words are far from being equally distributed across the corpus. So when use a corpus, we need to check the description of a word across texts to see whether it is restricted to a particular author, domain, mode, or genre. I think it's very important point, because when we use a corpus to study the use of a specific pattern, if a person strongly used prefers this word, for example, lovely. So if this person strongly prefers to use this word lovely, so we find that this word lovely occurred 1,000 times in this corpus. But then we realize that over 500 times is occur in this person's person's production. So maybe we can't see that lovely is widely used by all the participants, because lovely is used by this person. So I can see this list is also from the Brown corpus. As we can see that we can see the last three words at, by, and I. It seems like they are used about 5,000 times in this corpus, but actually I used more. I is distributed more evenly in this corpus, because by is occurred maybe only in a few contexts. This is another a technique that the corpus can provide. It is called concordances. So a concordance is a collection of the occurrence of a word form, each in its own textual environment. So the red word quite is the word that we are interested in. It appears in the center of each line. The length of the context is specialized for specific purposes. For example, you can, in this example, 7 words appear on the other side of the word quite. So by looking at concordance lines, we can know which words are used together. And I will give some examples about how to use this concordance lines later. Now, let's have a look at some corpus analysis tools. So all the corpus techniques that I introduced can be produced by some corpus analysis tools automatically. So the first one is the CQB This you can register on this website, and you may find many useful corpora. So this example is from we can use Spoken BNC 2014. So if you want to search a word, for example, quite, just type the word here in the black, white black, and then just click search or something, and then you can see they will and this it will give you all the occurrences of the sentences, including the word. And here is an example of love. You can see all the examples. And another user-friendly corpus analysis tool is the Lancaster box. This tool can be downloaded on your computer. Here is the window. If you run Lancaster box, you will see this. So if you can see here, you can load your data, or you can download the data, or you can create a corpus from the website. So here we can, if you choose to, if we click on corpus here, and you will see this window. It shows you all the available corpora, some Chinese corpora, English corpora, and also word list. For example, if we want to choose the Spoken BNC 2014, just click this one and click this one, agree with this corpus lessons, and then download. You find this corpus downloaded on your computer, and then click on import, and you will find all your the Spoken BNC 2014. It's here. So if you want to use concordances, you may choose the first one, KWIC, keyword in context. So if you, for example, you want to search quite, just type quite here and click on search. You will see lots of examples of quite. So there are also many other functions can be found in Lancaster box. For example, graphical can identify and visualize collocations. Rank shows distribution of the search term in corpus files, and words. The words function produce word lists and identifies and visualizes keywords. N-grams produce lists of n-grams and identifies and visualize key n-grams. And text displays a full context of a search term. So I can show you the second one, graphical. So if you, for example, I use this tool to search the word well. And so we can see that here is the keyword is well. We can see well occurs with some was like quite small pauses, you and is like. You can see this would occur with while in the corpus. Some research call this collocations, which shows clear which words are used together. So if you want to use this tool, you can download it from this website, and there is also a user guide which guides you how to use this tool. Okay. Now you may have some knowledge of Quora and this corpus tools. Now let's have a look at some corpus applications. The most well-known application of Quora is maybe some English learners dictionaries. I think the most famous one is the Collins Core-built English Language Dictionary. This dictionary is all the Collins dictionaries are developed based on the Collins Birmingham University International Language Database. This corpus is about 4.5 billion words, so it's quite large. If you want to know the history of this corpus and the dictionary, you can see there is a blog. Here is a blog. Another application of Quora is that writers can use Quora to design. Writers or teachers can use Quora to design some corpus-based exercises by using concordance lines. For example, teachers can add some concordance lines and use this to teach students how to identify the lexical categories of words. And learning a language involves more than vocabulary and grammar. Pragmatic competence is also an essential part of being a successful learners. So Quora can be used to help students develop their abilities to communicate more efficiently and appropriately in social settings. For example, because we have already know there are many available spoken Quora. And if we look at this Quora, we may find that native speakers use some words like, well, I mean, quite often. So what we call them discourse markers. These discourse markers normally do not have proportional content on some occasions and are used to signal the pragmatic relation of an utterance to the intermediate context. So if teachers know of the pragmatic function of these words, they can use some examples to teach their students in the classroom and help them analyze this examples containing this discourse markers, because it is very important to help them to practice their pragmatic so they can know how to converse with native speakers in daily life. This is a very quick introduction of the applications of Corpora. And finally, at the end of my presentation, I want to show you how to build your own corpus. So here I'm only talking about spoken corpus design and construction, but the main steps can also be used to build written corpus. The design of spoken corpus is highly dependent on the research questions. For example, if you are interested in informal speech, maybe you want to gather face-to-face conversations, or maybe maybe you want to include oral tests or class discussions in your corpus. So at the beginning of corpus design, you need to decide which kind of data type do you want to include in your corpus. Secondly, you need to define your target population. For example, do you want to gather data produced by native speakers or produced by non-native speakers? If you want to recruit non-native speakers, you need to define on their proficiency levels. You need to decide how many female participants and male participants will be included in your corpus. Then you need to decide the size of your corpus. Generally speaking, we prefer, so if a corpus is very, very large, it will be very be representative of a language. But if you want to build your corpus alone, it might not be a good idea to create a very large corpus, for example, like over 1 million words. So it is very important to know the total number of speakers you can find, and decide the length of each interaction and the number of speakers in each conversation. For example, you want each conversation to include two speakers or 3 speakers or more than 5 speakers. And then before you collect your data, you need to get permission from your participants. So all the participants should be informed that their recordings, their conversations will be recorded, and you need to tell them you need to tell them in which ways tell them whether their recordings will be distributed, and in what way, and the channel by which the recording will be placed. Yeah. So, and then you can start to collect your data. So it's important that when you collect data, you need to gather all the information in terms of participants, interactions, and recordings. For example, you need to document all the information of participants, such as their gender, age, nationality, regions, proficiency levels, and their prior acquaintances with one's interlocutor. So the last variable is very important because some studies have already mentioned that the language used between strangers differ from the language used between friends or families. So it is important to record that whether your participants are strangers or friends. As regards the interactions, you need to document all the topics and the length of each conversation. And there are also the communication channels, for example, of your conversation are face-to-face or conducted via telephone or online or via Skype or some other channels. And then if your data were collected via some like Skype or telephone, you may need to pay more attention to the quality of your recordings because of the steady internet connection. And if you wanted to make video recordings, you need to be very clear how to place the cameras. So all of these factors must be very clear when you collect your data. And the next very important step is transcription, which means you need to transcribe all your data into written forms. So when you listen to your recordings, you may find that there are many features, for example, lexical vocalizations like words, repetitions, and some nonverbal sounds like laughter, coughs, and some interactional features such like overlaps or prosodic features like pauses. So it is not feasible to cover all of these features in your transcripts because it is very time consuming to transcribe all of these features. So you need to select which features are important and which features should be omitted in your transcripts. Now, so to select your these features, you need to consider your research question again. So if you want to carry out a phonetic analysis, it may be important to include prosodic features such as pauses, tones, pitches, something like that. But if you only if you only wanted to carry out a lexical or grammatical analysis, you may not need to include pauses, but it's very important to include all the lexical vocalizations. So it all depends on your research questions. And then once you have decided which features can go into your transcripts, then you need to find some guidelines to help you to transcribe, to represent these features. For example, there are many existing transcription schemes can be used. You don't want to create some new symbols to represent the features. For example, you create some symbols to represent pauses or represent laughter. So the point is you can take advantage of what people already know. For example, they use some symbols that have equal values. So by doing this, when other users to read your transcripts, they can understand these symbols very quickly. So here are two examples of transcription scheme. The first one is the prosodic transcription scheme for the London Land corpus. So London Land corpus is a very famous spoken English corpus. So you can say it is quite complicated in this transcripts. So the corpus compilers contain pauses, tones, and many other prosodic features in this transcription. So if you want to know more information about prosodic transcription, here I give you two references, so you can have a look at it. The second one is the orthographic transcription for Trinity Lancaster corpus. it looks very simple. It's this transcript includes speaker terms, linguistic features, and words, time steps, tasks, pauses, hesitations, and many other features. So for many studies, an orthographic transcription can meet our needs. Okay, so here is the reference. So this paper, this journal article provides a whole transcription scheme of this TIC corpus. So you can have a look at this paper later on. Okay, once you have transcribed your data, you may need to make them machine readable. So, which means you need to annotate your data. So annotation is the process of adding interpretive linguistic information to an electronic corpus or which includes spoken or written language data. For example, here the two sentences is a simple transcript. So we can add more information to this transcript. For example, here we can see there are some pauses, duration, and so this angle. Like here the who means the speakers. So if so for most corpora, we also add part of speech tags into them. For example, here we can see that the same composition. We can see it looks quite complicated. We can see here this one, stay. I hope she stays down. Stay here. We can see here. Stay is a verb and the lemma stay, and the position here. So it's quite complicated. Normally, we don't need to annotate this our data if you want to use if you don't want to share your corpus with others. So the last step of spoken corpus instruction is to distribute your corpus. So there are three options to distribute your corpus. The first one is web-based corpus analysis systems. Many corpus projects have their own web-based corpus analysis systems. For example, the CQP web interface to the British National Corpus 2014. By such corpus analysis systems, enables corpus compilers to make their corpora available via the web browsers that all computer users are familiar with. By being available across the web, this corpora are instantly accessible to users on any operating systems. Also, these web-based corpus analysis systems embedded have some functions such as concordances, frequency lists, and keywords. All of these functions enable researchers to carry out a study very efficiently, which reduce the work that researchers have to do to process the data. However, building and maintaining such web-based corpus analysis system is highly costly. So if you don't have enough research funds, it may be a good option to distribute your data via such corpus analysis systems. So the second option is open language archives. There are many open language archives. For example, the Oxford Text Archives, the British National Corpus 1994 can be found on the OTA. So this language archives allow corpus contributors to contribute their corpus to these archives at no cost. And if you want to contribute your corpus to one of these archives, you only need to complete some documentation for submissions. But the advantages is that these open language archives cannot provide any analysis functions. So it's so just like the CQP web. So if you want to use to produce your data, you may need to find other tools to process your data before you can use your data to carry out studies. And the third option is Sketch Agent. Sketch Agent is a leading corpus analysis tool. The Sketch Agent website offers many ready-to-use corpora, and it also allows users to upload and build their own corpora. However, Sketch Agent is commercial, so you need to pay for the services. So it will be highly costly for long-term preservation service. So this is some main options to distribute your data. Okay, here at the end of my slides, I want to share some corpora with you. The first one, learner corpus around the world, you may find more than 180 learner corpora built by different corpus compilers. And the second one is English corpora. This website has some English corpora. For example, the coronavirus corpus and other corpora. If you are interested in English corpora, you may find some useful information on this website. And the third one is the original British National Corpus 1994. And also some two corpora of American English. I think many of these corpora are available. Just have a look at the website. And here is some references that I used in my presentation. And the last one is a MOOC, Corpus Linguistics Method Analysis Interpretation. I think this MOOC is very useful. It's maybe too late to join this MOOC this year, but maybe next year you can just check the website Future Learn to join this MOOC. So the speakers are from Lancaster University. So I think maybe you can learn more useful information of corpus linguistics from this MOOC. They will show some corpus resources, and they also tell you how to build and use corpora in different areas of linguistics and other disciplines. Yeah. Okay, so this is my email. So I just give you a very quick view of corpus linguistics. So if you have any questions about corpus linguistics, or you want to know more corpus resources, you can contact me. So maybe I can provide you some more useful materials. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lin. So I want to notice you that actually this international symposiums is also recorded through YouTube online on streaming. So there are so many viewers from all over the world. All right. So and then talking about corpus in language education, I'm interested in having something like corpus and discourse markers. All right. So the other type is about corpus and text type or corpus and genres, right, for the English teachers, especially for senior high school or junior high schools, right? So there will be more raising questions from the participants later on, and I will keep this question for a while.
Okay.
All right. Thank you
Okay,
for the
thank you very much.
questions for exciting us. And the next session is session 2. It will be delivered by Dr. Dinu from IAIN Ponorogo. Dr. Dinu.
Yes. Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Dinu. Okay.
Bapak Dias, would you please make me the co-host so that I can share my screen?
Sure. Sure. Yes.
Everyone is able to share the screen to Dino, so you can just share your screen. right
Just
away.
share
Yeah.
your screen.
Okay,
Right.
then.
So, all right. So, Dr. Dinu, you are going to
Ada lagi.
corpus linguistic and especially for language education.
Oh iya ya.
Based on your research, previous research, you did many research or studies about corpus linguistic, especially for teachers, right? So we are happy coming to your sessions. Okay, so Budinu,
Yes.
all right, the time is 45 minutes, and you may start from now. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, first of all, it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much, Ibu Siti Nur Aini, PhD, for giving me the opportunity to join this symposium. And then Dr. Ngaspun Egar, MPD, thank you very much for letting me join this great event. Okay. First of all, I would like to give the introduction first. I am from IAIN Ponorogo, sekolah. It was Sekolah Tinggi Agama Islam Negeri Ponorogo, but right now Institut Agama Islam Negeri Ponorogo. I'm going to deliver this presentations about corpus linguistics in the English classroom. Ms. Lee has addressed more for lecturers and researchers on corpus linguistic. And then right now I'll address more for English teachers and how the corpus can be practically used in the classroom. Okay. Wait, I would like to have the communications with all of the participants here. I would like you to wait a minute. I'll go check the chat box. Okay, so I would like to have the conversations with you all so that I will not speak throughout the presentations. You can write down when I ask something about this presentation or things like the questions. I would like you to write down your comments. Okay. The first one, I have the outline here. The first one is the introduction, and then the second one, we are going to discuss, review a little bit about what is corpus, and then why use corpus in the English classroom. And what are some ways to use corpora in the English classroom? Okay. Mr. Dias, in Indonesia, we usually say tak kenal maka tak sayang, right?
All right, correct.
So I have these numbers. I would like the participant to guess apa hubungan angka ini dengan saya. You can guess. Write down your comments in the chat box. Kira-kira angka-angka ini ada hubungan apa dengan saya? Yeah, I cannot see anyone writing the comment, please.
Dino,
Yes.
we cannot see your screen yet.
Yes, right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe you can reshare it.
Okay,
Just stop the
wait.
screen. Yeah. And then reshare.
Okay, then wait.
Recording in progress.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
It's still black.
Yes.
Not yet,
Just,
Mom.
just name.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Enggak apa-apa.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Wait.
All right. So everyone waiting for the screen for Budino. Okay.
Yes. Can you share it maybe? Because yeah, make me the co-host so that I share the screen. Nggak bisa ya? Nggak bisa ya?
Or you can share it with me, Budino, and then I will share it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone waiting for Budino presentation, I would like to announce you that I have already text in the chat box the way on the format in delivering the questions after on. All right, and after that, do not forget to after this there will be the attendance of the participants, and do not forget to state your name correctly because it will be also in line with your certificate's name. Thank you.
Okay, Ibu Nur Aini, I have sent you the file.
Yeah, it's all shared, Budino.
Okay, thank you. Let's directly go on to the outline. Thank you, Ibu Nur Aini.
Yeah, my pleasure. Wait a second. Okay, the numbers, right? This one?
Yeah, okay. I would like the participants to communicate with me during the presentation. I would like you to guess. Next slide, Ibu. Okay, here. This slide, the numbers here has something to do with me. Can you guess? Supaya lebih kenal ya, tak kenal maka tak sayang. So you can write, you can guess, what are these numbers?
Do we speak out right, or do we have to write the answer
right.
in the chat?
box.
Okay,
Right on the chat box.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, thank you.
all of the participants, would you please join us? Okay, your date of birthday, which one? Which number? Could be? Day of birth, my address number, your kids. Okay. My age. Okay, what about the 4? 2 might be my children, I guess 73, your birth. Your kids, 4? No. Kilometer of your car. Oh, could be. Member of family. 2 is your hands. Great. Of course. 4 ex-boyfriends. Oh my goodness. Okay, date. Oh, now I would like to reveal this mystery. Yeah. Good guess for the participant who guessed number 2. For my children, I have 2 children. Maybe the next slide, Ibu, I will reveal this mystery. What about 73? Here. Yeah, I have. I am one of the 4 siblings in my family, and then I have 2 daughters, beautiful daughters, and 73. Actually, my dad's age. He is 73 years old. And then if you switch the number 73 into 37, yes, I am 37, 8 years old, but it was a year ago. So right now I am 38 actually. And what about 4,690 miles is the distance between Indonesia and New Zealand, where I met Ibu Siti Nuraini for the first time. We met there, although it's so far away from here. But then after we got here in Indonesia, get back from there, we have never been met again. Yeah, although it's from Ponorogo and Semarang, yeah, Ibu.
Yeah.
It's nearer, but maybe we will have some times later on to meet.
Yeah, after COVID, either you
Of
come here or
course.
I will come to you.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, now that you have known a little bit more about me, let's go on to the next topics. Yeah. Okay, I have been in STAIN Ponorogo, which is right now IAIN Ponorogo, since 2011. And my research interests are TOEFL, vocabulary, discourse analysis, and of course, corpus linguistics. Although corpus linguistics, I was interested in corpus linguistics, not quite a little bit of not quite long time. It was in 2016 when I was doing my doctorate degree. Okay, now I'm sure that I would address this also to the teachers. Of course, that you advise your students to use the Oxford or the dictionary, maybe Oxford, maybe Webster, things like that, right? And then next slide, Ibu. Okay, have you ever thought about how many words should you know first from the sea of words, or as a learner, have you ever thought about how many words should you know from this sea of words? Or next, before that, Miss? Okay, which of these? Next. Which of these words should you learn first before the others, right? I remember when I was in junior high school, I was given an Oxford dictionary for the first time, and then I was very excited, and then I look page by page, and then it was a time when I thought, which one should I learn first? And then it was never answered until I found this corpus linguistics then. Next, Ibu. So what is corpus? When we heard the first time about corpus, what we have in mind is maybe some of you have the picture of a corpse or a dead body. Yes, because that is the reference that we have in our mind if we hear corpus for the first time, right? Next slide, Ibu. Here, the corpus in Latin word means body, and in Merriam-Webster dictionary, we see that corpus is the body of a human or animal, especially when dead. So that if we hear corpus for the first time, maybe this picture comes up to our head. Next, Ibu. So, but in the corpus linguistic, the corpus is large, principled collection of naturally occurring text, whether it is written or spoken, and then stored electronically in the computer so that it can be searched for the further analysis. And then the corpora is the plural form of corpus. Next. Okay, so naturally occurring text or authentic text. So language to be called natural, it's should be not a made-up language. So for example, such as French chat, and then meetings, letter, class assignment, books, articles, and then spoken things like that. But as we see in LKS, as we see some in LKS, we have some of the information or some of the conversations which are put there are some of them are made of language. So it was not taken from the natural or authentic language. Next, Ibu. And it should be principled. The text of the corpus need to represent the type of language that corpus is intending to capture. Next, Ibu. So how big is large? As Ms. Lin has already explained to us, there are many kinds of corpora that we have nowadays. But if we see in one of the first corpus that was built, it was in 1960. It was called the Brown Corpus, and it was about 1 million words. But right now, because we have the advanced technology that we can compile more and more words, the BNC or British National Corpus has already got 1,000 million words. And then COCA, 4,000 million words. And for right now, for the maybe we can later discuss the smaller corpora or the more smaller than this 1 million. It should not be like this large for the specific purpose. Next, Ibu. Okay, and corpus linguistics is a way of investigating language by observing large amount of naturally occurring electronically stored discourse using software which selects, sort, matches, count, and calculates. Next, Ibu. So why is corpus linguistics important? Because we can see how language is naturally used. It is not made up. It is the real language that is used. And then to see how language is used in different contexts, if we would like to know what kind of language used in the academic context, it will be different if we want to see the language which is used in spoken context and things like that. Maybe in the academic things, if it is like, if we want to know what is the biology researchers use the language more often than the other, we can use the corpus of the biology corpus. Yeah. And then next, to learn or to teach language to our students. Okay, why use corpora in the English classroom? Next. Because even the expert speaker or native speakers cannot remember everything they know. So that with the corpus, we can get the information that has been stored in the corpus. And then even experts or native speaker cannot make up natural examples by just remember what are they usually used in certain kind of context. But with corpus, we can see the examples of real communication so that we can, in our class, we do not need to make the examples by ourselves, thinking or making examples for the sentences, things like that. We can just find the example for the real communications from the corpus. The next one, even the expert speakers or even native speaker have prejudices and preferences of some languages. But in a corpus, we can give more objective evidence. And then the next one, even the native speaker or expert speakers have only partial knowledge of language. But corpus can give us more comprehensive and balanced review. The next one, even expert speakers tend to notice the usual and think of what is possible. A corpus can show us what is common and typical. The last one, a corpus can give us an accurate statistics, which I can show you later on. Okay, let's have a review. I'm sure that you have got this from Ms. Lin's presentations. I would like to review these. Most popular words. Can you still do you still remember what are the most popular words? Would you please write it down in the comment box? Yes, the, I, to, of. Next, Ibu. The first one is the. Yes. Wait. Next, of. And then next, and. Okay. So let's guess. How popular is corpora? As we can see here in the British National Corpus, which consists of 1,000 million words, you can see the numbers here, and then the corpora exists for about 993,000 times. And we can see the next, Ibu. Okay. In the corpus of contemporary American English, as we see there, if you see in the sections, we can see that corpora can Can we see that over there? It was found in academic section more than the others, right? And then if we see from the years, starting from 1990 until 94, only this 1,139. And then we can see that in 2000 until 2004, there are quite numbers, and then it's lowering down in 2005, and then it's getting more popular again in 2015 until 2019 when it was compiled. Okay, next, Ibu. Okay, next, what are some ways to use language? Okay, which words language learners should learn first before the others? This is very important for us to help our students to learn faster, to learn more. Next, Ibu. So a native speaker with a university graduate will have vocabulary around 20,000 words family. It was taken from Paul Nation and Waring, 1973. But for a language learner or beginner language learner, the vocabulary size of 2,000 until 3,000 words will provide a very good basis for language use, according to Paul and Nation. And for the beginners, 2,000 words, most frequently words are fundamental for any language used. As we know here, that knowing 2,000 most frequently words families enable language learners to recognize around 84% of the words in various type of authentic texts. Later, I'll give you the examples of how learners see the text if they do not know the vocabulary that they need to have the percentage of the vocabulary. Next. Corpus-based approach. We can use this corpus-based approach to have the informations about how to have a more practical ways in teaching our students. Let's go on, Ibu. Next. Okay, so the experts have come up with the word list where we can teach our students from the most frequently used words, starting from the first 1,000 most frequently used words, and then next to the second 1,000 most frequently words, and so on. As we see that 1,000 and 2,000 until 3,000 words, most frequently used words, should be introduced first. Therefore, we can help our students to be able to learn faster. Next, Ibu. Okay, now let me, so we can see that say, get, go, know, think, see, make, come, take, want, give, and mean are 12 most frequently used verbs in English. So we need to teach this to our students. Next. So I can show you these diagrams. Say, get, go, how, think, see, makes, come, take, want, give, and mean. So these verbs are most frequently used, so that we need to teach our students this kind of words, which are really help them to be able to learn English. Next. Okay, I would like to give you the example if your students are not ready to be given such kind of text. For instance, if you have reading class, I'm sure that you will somehow give a text for students to read. But if your students are having difficulties in understanding some of the vocabularies, this is going to happen. Next. Okay. So if you give 1,000 words text, a text which consists of 100 words here, for instance, this is what our students see if they only have vocabulary size around 500. So this is what your students see. See, it's very difficult, right? So it means that if they are lack of vocabulary, this is going to happen. That's why we need to help them to learn the most frequently used words. And then if your students have already got more vocabulary size, next Ibu, for instance, your students are with 500 to 3,000 words vocabulary size. This is what your students see. This animal have a thick brown and blah, 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 and are about the size of a cat, around 2 feet long. They have a short flat head, big eyes, a short or long legs, tiny ears, and are on each foot. They use these blah, blah, blah to hang from trees. Despite the animals do not special problems in the trees, they have got blah, blah, blah. They cannot see the blank words because they do not know the vocabulary. Moving only slowly, do not blah, blah, blah attention. They got its name from its slow movement. It's not blah, 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 but just a blah, blah, blah animal. Can you guess if the student has difficulties in finding the meanings of some of the words or the vocabularies here? They cannot catch what is being discussed in the text, right? And the next one, this is what our students see if they have vocabulary size around 3,000. Okay, this is what you see as a teacher and what our students see if they have vocabulary size more or around 3,000 words family. These animals have a thick brown and slightly greenish fur coat and are about the size of a cat. I would give some times for you to guess. Can you guess what is this animal?
This is like a sloth. I think it's a sloth.
yes, exactly. Exactly. Next, Ibu. So this is what we see, right? And then I would like to give you the kind of information that this is not all students see when we have students who are not having quite a bit of vocabulary. Next, Ibu. Next, you can guess it, right? Next. Okay, now I would like to have the very useful website for you to later after this symposium. You can try and go to this website, English Corporate www.ebook.org.kk, where you can store your text easily, and then try to find which words are most frequently used, and then which are the less frequently used. Therefore, you can understand which words that you need to pre-teach your students before going on to the real text. Yeah. Go on, Ibu, next, please. Yes. For instance, I put the text that I have given you earlier to this website. You need to go onto this website and then click on to the blue square over there, the blue square on the top right, and then you will find the box for your text. So if you have a text that you are going to give to your students, just try to fill your text in this website, and then try to find which are the low frequently used, and then which one are in the mid frequently used, and then which one in the high frequently used. And I'm sure that you will need to pre-teach the low frequently used first, because some of your students will have difficulties in finding the vocabulary, especially for the low frequently used ones. Next, Ibu. Okay, when you click one of the words in the less frequently used, for instance, you click on to the non-existent, you can click this speaker over here. It will give us the way how to pronounce it. And then if we see here, that we can see the topics, the collocates, and then the related words. And then if you scroll down to the clusters, next, Ibu. Yes. Here we will see the context and then the examples of the vocabulary, especially non-existence, which are going to be pre-teach for our students. We don't need to think about giving the examples ourselves, made up some examples, thinking, and then making the sentences ourselves. We can find the examples from these websites. Okay, I think maybe that's all for my presentations today. I hope this can be helpful for us as teachers to help our students learn better. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Ibu Dr. Dinuk. That was very great presentations, and I think your presentation will be benefit for us teachers or lecturers. So in this case, when we are going to analyze some words in novels or magazine or newspapers, so actually we can use this kind of approach, corpus approach, right? Otherwise, teachers, if they are interested in having something like enhancing reading student skills, all right, I think they can elaborate corpus in reading text like text type or genre text, right? So very interesting. So we are waiting for for the questions raising by the participants. When I'm looking at the participant, it reaches 158. So many participants from teachers and from okay. There is questions from Bintang. Okay, from Bintang for Dr. Lin. Dr. Lin, are you there?
Yes, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, okay, good. So the question is, should I read these questions or you can read it yourself? Sorry.
Yes, I think we can read these questions ourselves.
Okay.
I think the first one is for Dr. Li Hanut. I'm sorry, I don't know. So should I answer the question first or?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Because I think the first one is for Dr. Hanuk.
Dino. Dino.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's Dino, you can say.
Dino.
Yeah.
Okay. Is native speaker necessarily an expert speaker? I think it's for Dr. Dino.
all right, Dr. Dino. The first question
Yes.
is native speaker necessarily an expert speakers?
Not necessarily.
Toto from Universitas Terbuka.
Okay, thank you very much, Bapak Agus Satoto. So it doesn't have to be for vocabulary size. If I'm not mistaken, for graduate students, they might have around 9,000. If I'm not mistaken, 9,000, not 9,000 ya. Kalau enggak salah, kalau native speaker itu sekitar 20.000. Native speaker itu sekitar 20.000 kata. Kemudian untuk saya agak lupa, sekitar untuk lulusan S3, apakah itu native speaker ataukah tidak, itu sekitar lebih dari itu, sekitar 24 atau berapa. Saya harus lihat, cek dulu, tapi it doesn't have to be necessarily native speaker because there are research on that. Ya, terima kasih Bapak Agung Satoto. Ya, native speaker sekitar 20.000 kata.
Okay, so native speakers about 20,000 words.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
so
Bapak.
if I'm not mistaken, in second language acquisition, there are some grades, all right, for elementary school, junior high school, senior high school, and university level. The vocabularies or the words that they have already masters, all right, some amounts of the numbers over there.
Yeah, that's why for the English beginners or English learners, especially for the beginners or for students who are starting learning English, the basic that they need to set as the goal is around 2,000 until 3,000.
All right, 2,000 and 3,000. Thank you, Dr. Dina. Next question is from Bintang. It is for Dr. Lin. I have been wondering if there is any convenient frameworks to teach pragmatics, and here it comes, this symposium discussing about the purpose, which is I found this could be potential in teaching pragmatics, but what I haven't got so far is the aim. Would you mind telling me what is the purpose of using purpose in language teaching? What are we trying to accomplish when we were using purpose in language teaching context? So in this case, Bintang want to ask you more about the benefits of purpose for language teaching and why it has any connection with the pragmatic teaching.
Okay. Thank you for your question, Bintang. I think there may be no convenient framework to teach pragmatics in the classroom. Because I'm not a language teacher, so I'm just a researcher in corpus linguistics, so I don't have many teaching experience to tell you how to teach pragmatics in the classroom. But I think the purpose that why we hold this conference is to tell you that corpus linguistics as a methodology actually can provide you some real empirical examples. Maybe you can use these examples rather than to invent your own examples to teach your students. I think the purpose of this two presentation maybe can just tell you, corpus linguistics can help you, can provide some materials for your teaching and learning. But I think it is your choice to whether use corpora or not in your teaching. I think pragmatics maybe is a very difficult discipline. And if you want to use corpora to teach something like discourse markers, I think it may need to read more academic works. For example, I know Dr. Diaz have already published some papers about English discourse markers. I think this kind of journal articles are very important because researchers can tell you what kind of functions these discourse markers have in English conversations. So if you know the functions of this discourse markers, such as well, I know, I mean, maybe you can find some good examples from some corpora, and then maybe you can explain this their functions and meanings to your students. I think this is maybe the main purpose of why we are talking about corpus linguistics here.
All right. So, Lynn, personally, I have already made the research about discourse markers, but I didn't use it for corpus linguistics as the tools. Now on, I do realize that this corpus linguistics is very useful for teaching some discourse markers used whether in spoken or in written, because when we want to analyze for the magazine or novels, the particular words, we can use corpus, right? And we can detect what is the discourse markers they use. Is it true?
I'm sorry. I didn't got your question because you speak too fast.
Right.
So I know that you don't actually use corpus data to carry out your analysis, right?
Yeah. When we are interested in having and analyzing about the novels or magazines or even the very important data, all right. So actually, when our knife of analysis using discourse analysis, in this case, discourse markers, and we would like to analyze some markers which are spoken by by some peoples or by very important persons, right? So actually, we can use this kind of tools, corpus linguistics, or we can use BNC and so on and so on. But then, as I did earlier, so I use it conventionally. So I try to make it page by page because at the time I didn't know how to use this corpus tools.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think, yes, I think because some corpus linguists have already noticed that although corpus linguistics is popular in some areas of linguistics, but actually not many researchers use corpora to carry out the analysis of discourse markers. But we can feel, especially to analyze the use of discourse markers in the L2 production. So I think the problem is, I think if we want to analyze discourse markers, maybe we need to analyze the sentence one by one. So it is quite time consuming, because my PhD thesis also analyzed some one function of one Chinese discourse marker. It is about thousands of examples. So it was very hard to analyze this the functions of a discourse marker, because discourse markers have multiple functions in conversations, and you need to identify their discourse marker uses and their non-discourse marker uses. For example, such as, well, maybe we need to identify in what situation it is a discourse marker, and in what situation it is adjective, and so on. So I think it's quite difficult to carry out corpus studies of discourse markers, especially if you want to use for example, some very large corpora such as the Spoken BMC 2014. So I think it's a very difficult task. Yeah, but yes, that's true. Yeah, I think that maybe that's partially why not many researchers want to use corpus to analyze discourse markers. Yeah.
Yeah, but by this reason is actually I do loving with this corpus tools, right? So we can use corpus with for the spoken research for the written text. Right? Thank you, Lynn. So we are going to continue for the next questions. Again from Bintang, but it is for Dr. Dinu.
Yes.
Dr. Dinu, okay. You mentioned that it could be more effective to teach language using corpus. So to which corpus is more effective and how is it effective? So maybe in this case Bintang get some information is that there are some corpuses, right? So which one is more effective and efficient in this case?
Okay, thank you very much, Bintang Alam Mahardika. Thank you very much for the questions. I think it is more effective to teach our students what language which are frequently used, right? Rather than the vocabulary that are not frequently used. And if we are going to teach our students, for instance, the speaking, for instance, we can try to find the examples of how, for instance, like the differences between the use of wanna, gonna, things like that, and the examples in the real context, in the real authentic language. And then, for instance, if we are going to teach our students the way to write academic writing, we can try to find the corpus which the academic corpus, how they can use, for example, like lexical bundles and then things like that, because it will be specific for their needs. I think, I hope it can answer your questions. Thank you, Bintang Alam.
Thank you, Budino. Budino, actually, the interesting thing is about if the teachers want to analyze about the text, Budino, and then we have known together that there are some text type in senior high school and junior high schools, right? So whenever they want to detect the special words using the corpus, in this case, so we can get the concordance of the words, right? So we can use corpus for resolving these problems.
Yes, exactly, Papa.
All right. For example, in the novels of Dylan, all right, the novel of Dylan.
Yeah, and it can be used for any languages. Yeah, maybe we can have like a collaborative writing for like Indonesian corpus for like.
Yeah, Budino, you have not mistaken. In Indonesian already published what is meant by COIN, Corpus Indonesia, right? If not mistaken, the initiator is from Universitas Indonesia, Indonesian University. Okay, and again talking about the Dylan novels, then we are going to know what the word love, the amount of the words, and what the word hate, the amount of the word by this novel. So we can use this corpus to identify, to analyze what is actually the novel want to deliver the message. Is it true?
I think so, because we can see also from the context, from the novel itself, how they, in what situation they use this kind of specific words, and then maybe there are differences between the use of this particular vocabulary in this novel and then in other contexts, things like that.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Dina. The next question is from Pak Salim. Okay, Pak Salim, you raise your hand. Pak Salim or Bu Nunung, which one first? Okay, Pak Salim, I'm calling Pak Salim. Pak Salim, you ready, Pak Salim?
Okay. So
yes, I am. Wait a second. I'd like to plug my set first. Since I'm so sorry. I'm at school and wait. Hello. Hello. Oh, wait.
Come on, Pak Salim. Time is
Oh,
running.
yes. So, okay. It was interesting, you know, to hear everything both of the speaker explained. But one thing that I'm going to ask, hello, could you hear my voice?
Yes, yes.
Okay. You know, corpus is the new thing for me, actually. Frankly speaking, it's interesting. But in my point of view, is there any difference from a kind of, sorry, CFR? On CFR, we also have, what is that? The essence of the word itself. For example, this word belongs to A1, and those words are belong to B1 or C1. What about corpus? Does corpus also have a kind of identification of the words themselves? That's my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pak Salim. We got the questions. Dr. Lin. Dr. Lin.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't get the question. So what does mean A1 or A2s?
The question is, does corpus only identify the words, or it is the use for identifications words?
Yeah, I think maybe we can ask Dr. Another, because
You know,
I don't know how this kind of knowledge, because I don't know, I don't have enough knowledge about teaching. So I think A1, A2, and B1, B2 is the European framework, right?
Okay, Dr. Lin. So Dinu.
I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know how to answer this question.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lin. Dr. Dino, Pak Salim, questions?
Can you make it clearer, Pak Dias? Can you make it clearer, the questions?
Okay, Pak Salim says that talking about the corpus, it is something new for him, all right? And he just knows that corpus is also applicable for language teaching, all right? But then, as far as he knows that corpus is about words identification, is it true?
Okay, maybe I can answer it like this. So in the corpus linguistics, we can try to find the list of the words that is needed to be given to our students first, and then rather than the other vocabulary that is rarely used, and this will help our students. So I think if it is if you have difficulties in finding the materials, things like that, don't use made-up language, but try to find the real or authentic language that is used by finding the right corpora in a specific purpose that you are going to address. I think that is my answer. Thank you very much for the questions.
Thank you very much, Bu Dino. Dear participants, do not forget to fulfill your links for attendance. All right, it will be your certificate later on. And the next question is raising from Bu Nunung. Are you going to say, or?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would like to ask Lin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as you know that there are new words emerging, right? During the pandemic, and also in daily interactions among youth, they use words like lit to express excitement. That an event is lit, that means like the event is interesting and awesome. So they use it's lit. And also we, during the pandemic, we are familiar with lockdown, with social distancing, with whatever that is a new vocabulary that are emerging these days. So how are we going to, if we're going to investigate those kind of words and in practice, in research, how are we going to do that kind of research work? And what kind of data source that we can use to investigate those kind of terms, new emerging terms?
Okay, thank you for your question, Siti. I think it's a very interesting topic because this year I think we have already created many new words. For example, I don't know whether you have read the news. The Oxford University have chosen the word facts as the year of the word this year.
Yeah, facts.
So,
Yeah,
so-
they use facts. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I think it's very important to, I think we can do some research on these new words. And if you want to start this new word by using some empirical data, maybe we need to gather this data first. So there is a new corpus which is called the coronavirus corpus. I think it's very huge right now. You can find this corpus on the website that I given. English corpora, you can find this corpus on that website. I think maybe this corpus, this coronavirus corpus, maybe cover some new words, like you said, like late or some incomplete phrases. Maybe you can just have a look at that corpora. And if you cannot find any examples, including the words that you want to research, maybe you should gather your own data and to build a new corpus.
And where are we going to do that?
Yeah, I
You
think
and
I think it depends on your research question. So if you
No,
want-
my question is, when are we going to do that? You and I?
Yeah, I think maybe there's some existing corpora we can use, just like the coronavirus corpus. It is keep growing. I think it's very big, maybe over billions words now. So yeah, just have a look at that corpus. But if you really want to build a corpus, I think it should be very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
very,
because
very-
I see, like I've observed in Indonesian language itself, right? So many young people, in terms of, apart from the context of coronavirus, we have young people using new languages that can be, like, as a linguist, I find it really frustrating that they use that kind of word that dismember the language itself, like the way people communicate. They use the words that are combined between Indonesian language and also English language, and they mix it all together, making it as if a Frankenstein of the language. And it's like really frustrating. I find it frustrating, but it's also like an interesting phenomenon that young people are very creative in creating those words. So in Indonesian language, there are so many words that I was amazed. How could they come up with that kind of idea to create that words?
I think it will be a very good research project, but I think the corpus finding maybe will be very disappointing. I think maybe if you think young people use these words very often, but if you gather enough data, you may find that actually they don't use this word very often like you thought. Maybe just a small group of people use this words in some particular situations. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, and also in a limited age range,
Yes,
like
and
for just
only
teenagers.
gender or something.
Not many adults use this kind of language, and also especially they use it on the context of like on Twitter only.
Yes,
so
yeah.
they don't really use it on daily. Probably they use it for their daily conversation, but most of the time I found it on Twitter interaction. So it's kind of like, is it going to be worth it to do this kind of research?
Yeah. I think you can build your own corpus to do some research, or use your corpus to teach your students to learn some new features or uses. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
You said that it's going to be disappointing. So how do you define a disappointing corpus? Like, How many
Um,
words is it like that considered not enough to present a corpus?
I think it still depends on your research questions, and I want to say that actually a corpora cannot solve all the questions. So it may be not go to just focus on one corpus. Maybe you need to several corpora, and maybe you also need to use your intuitions or use some experimental data to complement your findings. So yeah, so I think it's very important to bear in mind that a corpora cannot solve all the problems. It is a corpus linguistics is useful, but it does still have many limitations. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lin.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Bunung.
Interesting.
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you, Lin. Interesting. Very interesting topics. All right. Next question for Dr. Lin from Amin Postgraduate Ubris. Does the corpus identify the plagiarisms? Does the corpus identify the plagiarisms? Dr. Lin?
Yeah. Yes. I'm also. So is the last question? In
No.
order to
From Amin Wibowo, students of postgraduate. So he's asking, does the corpus identify the plagiarisms?
just wait a minute.
So I mean, does it also benefits for checking the plagiarisms when we use corpus? Is there any relationship between corpus and plagiarisms?
I'm sorry, I can't find the question. Could you repeat the question again, because I didn't understand this. So it's from Anna.
From Amin Wibowo.
It's all the way up, Lin. It's
All the way up. Yes,
It's
all the
so
way
far away. Yeah. I think he just wants to know if corpus can detect plagiarism.
Just could you please give some time to find the question, because yeah.
Okay.
City, up to your question, or
Amin.
It's like far away up. I mean, he just wants to know if corpus can be used to detect plagiarism. That's what he wants to know.
to what?
To detect plagiarism. To detect plagiarism.
I'm sorry, I just too nervous and I can't understand your question again. Yeah, because there's so many questions on the screen. I just can't focus on this. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just this one. Like, can it be used to detect plagiarism?
So can you spell her name?
Amin. A-M-I-N.
M-I-E. Okay, just 1 minute.
Okay. Amin.
A-M-I-N.
Okay, sorry. A-M-I-E. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, I think it's the first time I missed this question. Actually, I don't think so. Actually, a corpus is a collection of different kinds of data. So all the data we gather, we need to get permission from the participants. So I really don't know how to answer this question, but it's a very good one, because I haven't read any papers or articles or books tell about this question. I was wondering, could you please give me some time to find some answer to answer this question? And you can just leave me your email. Maybe if I find some useful materials, I can just send this to you. Yeah, but it's a very good one, because I have never heard about this question, and I think no corpus linguist has talked about this question. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very
Okay.
much for your question. Yeah, it's very good one. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
But I
Dr.
really
Dino.
don't know how to answer this. Thank you very much.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about it, Lynn.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
a leave message. And this is a really interesting one because I have never come across this kind of question before. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will
but,
just write down and I
but
hope
we
I
know
can
we
answer
know
the
that
answer.
you and I used Turnitin at Macy to detect plagiarism, right? It's a software that
Yeah.
reads the similarities. So I guess it operates in a different way. Corpus is a data, it doesn't detect words,
Mhm.
while Turnitin, they detect similarities between words that was supplied into the software and then the database found on the internet, right? So they cross-reference it. And while I don't think that if corpus, they don't detect plagiarism, I don't think so. Like, I mean, yeah, I haven't read that kind of paper as well, but I don't think it relates to one to another, right? Is it?
Yeah, I think it depends on the type of the corporate abuse.
Mhm.
I think maybe because there's no corporate content lots of journal articles or academic books or
Yeah.
anything like that. So because we can't get permission from the publishers, so it
Yeah,
would be very hard for us
Yeah, it could be
to,
problematic.
yeah.
It's gonna be
Yes,
difficult.
yeah. But if we can build such a corpus, I think it's going to be a problem to consider this question because we already get permission from the publishers and the authors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think it's very interesting question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lin. Thank
Okay,
you,
next
Dr. Lin.
question.
Dr. Dino, are you there?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes,
The
yes.
question is from Bu Mardia. Bu Mardia, you scroll up away. Please, can you explain about the specific purpose of corpus for teachers?
Okay. What was the specific purpose for the teacher? Is that the question?
Yes, the specific purpose of corpus for teachers.
Okay. Very interesting questions, and I have explained earlier that when we are going to teach our students, we need to know what are the language that they need to learn, right? And then we are going to start by listing or trying to find the list of the words that they should know, that they should use, and then they should know how to use that in a certain kind of way. And therefore, corpus will help. Corpus will help this. Yeah, by knowing, for instance, like if you are going to teach our students in the elementary school level or junior high school level, maybe we can start from giving or introducing them to 1,000 words, the 1,000 most frequently words first, rather than trying to give the more less frequently used, like 2,000 words or 3,000 words. So we start from the 1,000 words first. And of course, as I explained earlier, that 12 most frequently used verbs, things like that, we need to give them. We need to teach them these words because these are very important for them to know and to know how to use them in conversations and in the writing, because these are very commonly used. Maybe that can answer your questions.
All right, Dr. Dino, in your opinions, which one is more actually or most dominant appears produced by the students talking about the part of speech? Student of SMP and student of SMA, which one is more dominant? They are producing nouns, or they are producing more adjective or adverb or verbs?
I haven't researched on that actually, but that is very interesting to to research on that. Very good and critical questions. Then it can be very useful if we search for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Dr. Dino. More questions from Mas Bintang. Bu Dino from Mas Bintang. What kind of activities in learning context we can apply in the corpus?
In what context? It
in learning
depends
context?
on in learning context. Okay. In learning context, we are going to be very specific about that. Are we going to teach them to in speaking for speaking skill, or for writing skill, or for vocabulary, or for grammar, things like that? It can be very specific, and then we can use this vocabulary list to help us giving this opportunity for our student to learn what they need first, than the others.
Okay, still with you, Dr. Dinu.
Yes.
From Yanuati Uli, English teachers. How to calculate the differences in the frequencies of the word starting with the different letters in a given corpus?
Okay, thank you very much. There is very critical questions. There are many tools that we can use for analyzing corpus. For instance, like Range software, and then by Anthony, and then we can also use the Ankong by Anthony, and then Range software is from Professor Paul Nation. We can sort the corpus that we are going to analyze by the first word, by the most frequently words, by many things. You can download the tools in the websites free from the Paul Nation's websites, and then Anthony Michael, if I'm Michael Anthony, or yeah, Anthony Ankong, you can try to find in the website. It's free. It's free. You can download them free.
Free. Okay. Okay, teachers, you can download it for free, right? And you can try to apply and implement the corpus for your learning context. One more, Dr. Dinu.
Yes.
How do we start using corpora in our class when we are not knowing yet about it? And when we start using it?
Yes, very good questions. So start by understanding that there are the importance of the vocabulary list that we should give to our students. What are they? 100 word most 1,000 most frequently words, and then we can divide them into hundreds maybe, and then 100 frequently used words, and then introduce them to them by giving them not only the real examples, but also the context in which these words are used. So start from that. Start from the most frequently used words. Yeah.
Most frequently used words.
Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you, Dr. Dinu. Dear participants, don't forget to fill your attendance. All right, because it is one of the ways to get the certificates. All right, so I'm going to Dr. Lin.
Yeah.
There is a question from Anna.
Okay.
Question
Oh,
from
okay.
Anna. Okay.
So, okay. So, thank you for your question, Anna. I think in my presentation, I showed some corpus tools I think might be useful to answer your question. I think the first corpus tool that I want to recommend is Lancaster Box. You can download this corpus from the website freely. By using this tool, you can download some available English corpora. And you can also create your own corpus by using some web data. So I think, Dr. Diaz, I was wondering whether I can share my presentation to my slides to the participants later or after the conference. So maybe they can just click the link that I given. Maybe they can know how to find these tools. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lin.
Okay. Thank you, Anna, for your question. Yeah, thank you.
Right, and then I guess Dr. Dino, a question from Mardia,
Yes.
SMP Negeri 3 Kedungdung. All right. Can you watch the box? Dr. Dino?
Yes. Yes. Which
Yes.
one?
Mardia. From Mardia, teachers, SMP Negeri 3.
Okay. Please give me the explanation about what is the best strategy to applicate corpus in teaching and learning. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. The best strategies, I'm sure that each teacher will have to be very creative about that, and it's very open for everyone to try to make their strategy, especially in teaching. But what you need to pay attention to is that the purpose of the teaching itself. What is, first of all, what components of English or what skills of English that you are going to teach, and then what topics first, and then how you give them the authentic examples for them, so that they can try to use that the language, to use the language that you introduce to them in the real conversations, in the real writing, things like that. So you need to pay attention to the skills and components what you are going to teach.
Thank you, Dr. Dino. So looking at the questions over here, in my opinion, they are really interested in having such a corpus, right? So they really want to know more about the corpus by declaring some questions over here. Dr. Lin, what do we need parallel corpus for, especially if we are linguists doing research? From Yanuati Uli. What do we need parallel corpus for?
I think parallel corpora are mainly for translation studies. For example, if you can build Chinese corpus and an English corpus to say some different features between this two languages, especially if you are linguistic. Actually, myself, I haven't built any parallel corpora, but I can recommend some corpora to you, and also some articles if you want to know more about the parallel corpora. Okay, so I think I'm going to write down the materials and the corpora, and maybe we can answer other questions now. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, while waiting, maybe I would like to answer Bapak Sabrawi's question.
Yes, Dr. Dino.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of using corpus in this course?
Okay, so let me give you the example. It's very interesting to be using corpus in discourse of local wisdom context. For example, in Ponorogo, there are many Islamic boarding schools, and then they use English and Arabic at the same times, and then some of them use English. They use English and Arabic, and the English sometimes they made a certain kind of mistake, like for example, can and followed by to can to can to go, can to ride, things like that. And then that will we can see the local use of language, especially in maybe in English or in Arabic, and then we can collect the corpus of the for instance the corpus of Islamic boarding schools in Ponorogo, for instance, things like that, and then we can try to find the discourse about that. Thank you for the questions, Ibu. Ibu atau Bapak ya, Bapak Sabrawi.
All right. So one more question from Marcel or Marcel to Dr. Dinu.
Yes. What is that?
Could you tell us the example of corpus on research in this pandemic?
Okay, in this pandemic, the examples, maybe we can, for research, maybe we can try to find the discourse analysis on the newspaper headlines or newspaper informations about this. Maybe that could be very interesting.
All right, so we need collaboration to do this research.
Thank you. I really hope so.
All right, the last questions for Dr. Lin.
Oh, okay.
From Putri. I am a translator and transcriber. Can you give an illustration on how a certain corpus research is done? And let's say corpus of the new words from the youth. Do researchers observe various social media platforms or other methods? Very interesting, critical questions.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. So if you are interested in some new words from the youth, I think firstly, if you want to use corpus data to analyze the language use of the youth, you may need to find some corpora which consist of some language, like some teenager corpora. I think there is a teenager corpus of spoken English. If you can't find a suitable one, maybe you need to build your own corpus, or you maybe need to gather some data. So I think researchers do observe observe various social media platforms. For example, the coronavirus corpus that I mentioned earlier. Actually, I think it gathered data from Twitter and maybe Facebook's. Also, the written component of the British National Corpus 2014 also contains some data from Twitter, Facebook, and emails and other social media platforms. So if you want to know the language of youth, maybe you can have a look at this to corpora. So as regards how to carry out certain corpus research. The first step is to find a suitable corpus or build your own corpus. For example, I built a spoken Chinese corpus to carry out my PhD research. Once you have enough corpus data, you also need to find some statistical tools to help you to process and analyze your data. For example, if your corpus, even though your corpus is small, like my corpus is only 400,000 words, maybe you still need to find some tools to help you to process your data first. And maybe you don't want to analyze all the examples one by one yourself. Maybe you need to use a computer to help you to categorize some examples and help you to produce some frequency lists or some other concordance line, something like that. Then you can, based on this data, to analyze whether a word, for For example, like Dr. Nuani said for the liter, is more often used by the youth or by the elder people or female speakers use this word more frequently than male speakers. Yeah, I think this is the main steps of how to use a corpus to carry out research. I think it's a little bit complicated because you need to find a corpus and you need to know some statistical methods, for example, frequency and dispersion, because they have different methods to calculate frequencies and the dispersions. So you need to have know how to use this statistical methods, and then you may need to know some theories to help you to explain the corpus findings. Yeah. I think this is the main steps to use corpus to carry out study. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lin. So there is no more questions. The things that I want to give remembrance for the participant is, Bapak Ibu semuanya, do not forget to fill, okay, pada presensi kehadiran karena nanti akan berdampak pada sertifikat. Ya, sekali lagi Bapak Ibu, oke, tolong diisikan presensi kehadiran sebelum kita tutup. Alright, so dear speakers, Dr. Lin and Dr. Dinu, so we need your materials and presentations, and then after that we'll be distributing to the participants because that will be very interesting topics. All right, and also you give more information about how to download, and you give information about the application of the corpus that we can download by ourselves. All right, in practicing corpus as one of the research methodology. Okay, so one more question from Mardia.
Pop-up question suddenly.
One more. Last question.
Last one, yeah.
Okay. May I ask what is the good media tools that suitable and effective to teach corpus? Dr. Dino, please. It is your area.
Yes. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, you can just visit the website, COCA BIU, just the keywords. You just try to click. You are going to click BYU, COCA, COCA, and then there you go. You will find the websites that will give you the free of charts, and then as I explained earlier, that you can find, you can insert your text that you're going to see more on that, and then there are many things that you can get from that. Try to go to this website. It's very useful and it's very practical for English teacher.
Very clear. Thank you, Dr. Dinu.
Yes.
Everyone, all participants and speakers, thank you very much for the participating this international symposium. Especially for the speakers, Dr. Lin, thank you so much for these very interesting topics, and Dr. Dino, thank you so much for this.
Thank you.
Great
Thank you so
presentation.
much. It's good to have
Thank you
you
so
here,
much,
Lin.
and thank you so much for all participants for attending and joining this
Thank
international
you.
symposium. And we are going to note you. The first one is, do not forget to fill your attendance links, all right, because it will be distributed as your certificates later on. And the second one is follow us for the next international symposium series, right, Bu Nunung?
Yeah. So we still have seven more episodes. Next one is in December, and the other ones will become every 2 months. So hopefully we will be more organized and we will be more well prepared. I'm sorry, I need to apologize to you, Lin, because it seems like really quick, and also for Dino for the short notice of this event. But you did so well, both of you. So I guess that yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your talk, for contributing to the success of this event, Putino and Dr. Lee. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much
Alright,
for all the
so
participants. Thank you for
Participants,
having
give applause
me.
for the speakers, please give applause. Thank you.
Thank you.
Terima kasih, Dr. Lin.
Yeah, City, I was wondering, can I share my slides with others because I have lots of links and corpus
Okay,
resources.
would you want me to share the one that you sent me on the email?
Yes,
one?
maybe because because there's a question about parallel corpora, maybe I can add one slide about parallel corpora.
Ah, right. Okay, so
Yeah,
you
maybe-
want to add that one first and then you email
Yes,
it to
yes,
me?
maybe
Okay,
then you
good.
can
Yep.
share my
Yeah,
slides
then I
with
will share.
others.
Okay, of course. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, before
Thank
closing, I
you,
would
thank
like
you
to
very
ask
much.
you
Thank you,
to
Dr.
open your
Yes.
cam, please. Open cam. Open cam, please. We
Open
are
cam.
going to take picture.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, we go. Okay. Thank you, speaker.
Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Lin. Thank you, Dr. Dino.
Thank you, Dr. Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye, Lynn. See you again next month.
Yes, see you. Bye.
Terima kasih, Bapak Ibu
See you,
peserta.
Madino.
Sampai ketemu
Madino.
di
Thank you, Madino.
masing-masing
Okay, bye-bye.
Desember.
Bye.
Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Sertifikatnya akan dikirim ya nanti.
Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.